replacing the Ayatollah Khomeini with another Ayatollah Khomeini. Thank you for replacing the Ayatollah Khomeini with another Ayatollah Khomeini. Thank you for fighting in Afghanistan and replacing the Taliban with the Taliban. Shame all progress fell on deaf ears. You even left your weapons with the Taliban. What a plan! Thank you for replacing the Ayatollah Khomeini with another Ayatollah Khomeini. Thank you for replacing the Ayatollah Khomeini with another Ayatollah Khomeini. What's up, Autumn? Hello. Greetings. Thank you for replacing the Ayatollah Khomeini with another Ayatollah Khomeini. Thank you for replacing the Ayatollah Khomeini with another Ayatollah Khomeini. Thank you for fighting the communists. Thank you for fighting in Vietnam and replacing the communists with the communists. You found that song too? Yeah, not only did I find it, I had the DFF boys listen to it. I sent them a super chat with a link to the short. Have a banana. Hello, everyone. Hello, hello. I know, that dude is a banger. Certified banger material. King Bugs with the $10. Thank you so much. I was worried I ran you off. Hadn't seen you in a few days. Hey, Bree, what's up, what's up, what's up? Everybody, all the cool people are here tonight. That's good, though. King Bugs, you'll be pleased to hear, hopefully, that I have officially ordered a whole host of upgrades for the channel and some quality of life upgrades for myself that'll hopefully translate into better content, but that aren't directly channel related. But the point is, I've got a new set of mics coming. I've got better set lighting coming. I've got upgrades to my PC coming. So I feel good, man. It feels awesome. People have been supporting the channel, you most of all, King Bugs, and people have been showing out, and as a result, I'm able to put that money back into providing improvements for the kind of content that we do here. So that's super cool, and I appreciate you guys' support a ton. Cheers, Ignar. Top cheers. Stack, like, how do I contribute so much? I don't know. You do contribute a lot, though. I don't know what the exact proportions would be if we looked it up and compared numbers, but just saved up money and have a good income. Well, yeah, I'm not you know, it makes sense to me. I'm not sitting here wondering about how you managed to do it, especially now that I've got enough money to start like actually putting improvements to my life and paying the bills and everything else. I'm starting to realize that once you've got a baseline established and you're able to start saving and you're able to spend, more frugally. I don't know how to put it. It's like being a certain level of poor means you're just constantly spending money, every fucking dime of it, instantly. But once you get enough and you knock out enough stuff and you've got enough built up, then it really, like, things can change. But that takes enough things lining up in life that allow you to free yourself in that way. Not every working class person is able to do that, unfortunately. But I know you know that. I know that you know that. Phoebe the Destroyer? What do I destroy? Does that flag represent maps people too? Maps? Are you talking about that like the 4chan psyop? No. Suffice it to say, no. Thank you, King Bugs, for the 10 gifted memberships. I appreciate that a ton. Look at that. And with that, so many people just got the ability to chat in here with members-only chats enabled. And you know what? If we get enough members in here tonight, I will turn it to a members-only chat. How about that? So sign up for the membership now, because at 30 minutes, we're going to members-only on this bitch. It's just going to be members chatting. So get your hate comments in now, or sign up for the membership now, because at 30 minutes, it's becoming members-only, and this chat will be as interesting as the members show out to make it. Are you gay? No, I am bisexual. Thank you for the impertinent question. Can I chat still as a mod? I don't know. I don't know 100%. I hope. I hope. If not, guys, you guys got to gift memberships because we eventually have to have one land on Taylor, okay? Before 30 minutes is up, you guys have to gift enough memberships for us to have one land on Tay. That's how it's got to be. So what do we want to talk about today, guys? I feel like I've answered the "Are you gay?" question like a million times, but I know there's got to be something more interesting in the chat than that. I know there's certainly more interesting topics in the title. New viewer, unsure if I want a membership, but I wanted to say I've been looking for a while and I think you make interesting streams. Thank you. I hope you decide to stick around. And I hope you decide to get a membership because it does make chatting in here a little bit easier. I do tend to see your messages before I will see like non-members and stuff. So there's benefits to it for sure. What does each color on the flag represent? Black, brown, blue, pink section. So like the pastel blue, pink, and white represent trans people. The brown and black stripe represent the solidarity that queer people have with the Black Liberation Movement and for the liberation of people of color worldwide. And the various colors on the standard rainbow section of the flag have codified meanings that I have forgotten because I'm a bad queer activist. But they go back all the way to the 80s, the colors on the left side. What are your pronouns? She, her, hers. Don't be spamming you, because you're just going to get banned. You can say whatever you want, but you can say it once. You are not so interesting as to deserve your comment being spewed multiple times, one after another. I promise you that. Have you seen Hassan's legal situation right now? Yes. Yeah, I've heard a little bit about it, and we can talk about that if you guys want to. Yeah. Let me bring up some information about it, and we'll talk all about Hassan being subpoenaed. Hassan, if you didn't know, is a lefty kind of progressive, like a lefty progressive streamer, bread tuber, quote unquote, that is probably most famous at this point for his advocacy for the Palestinian people and his advocacy against the state of Israel. But he's also had a lot of other hot takes throughout the years and everything else. So let's see here. I think we can probably deal with the Hill. I think the Hill will be fine. Thank you for joining the membership. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. So yeah, we've got the Hill here. Hassan Piker being investigated over trip to Cuba. Report rising. Federal authorities are reportedly investigating leftist commentator Hassan Piker over a trip he took to Cuba earlier this year, which may have violated U.S. laws and sanctions. Let's see here. Where is it at? Where do I put? Is it not? Is it a fucking video? I guess it's a video. I thought it was an article, but it's a video. Let me see here. Fuck it, Yahoo News, I guess. I guess if that's the only source where I'm gonna be able to find it, then that's where I'm able to find it at. Touch grass, breathe in fresh air, and buy yourself a Bible. I actually have a Bible. Right now, I just use it to set my air fresheners on, but I actually do have a Bible sitting right here. You know, it's just the New Testament, but still. Alrighty, let's see here. So, Hassan Piker, one of Twitch's biggest political streamers, has been served with a subpoena by the U.S. Treasury Department's Office of Foreign Assets Control, or OFAC. The subpoena relates to his participation in a humanitarian aid trip to Cuba in March 2026, and he is one of roughly 40 Americans now under federal investigation for their involvement in similar trips to the embargoed island. On stream Sunday, Piker acknowledged the situation directly. It's not great. In March 2026, Piker joined Code Pink's Nuestra America convoy, an international caravan that traveled to Havana from March 18th to 2024. Or, I'm sorry, from March 18th to 24. The convoy included 650 delegates from 33 countries and 120 organizations. So that's a ton of people. I didn't realize that's how many people ended up going when it all was said and done, but that's cool. That's good. Let's see here. Among them, Code Pink co-founder Medea Benjamin, Irish musicians Kneecap, and various activists and journalists. The stated purpose was to deliver humanitarian supplies, including medical aid, to pediatric hospitals, and to provide on-the-ground reporting from inside Cuba during the U.S. oil blockade. So I'm gonna skip down to what they're what they're investigating. So, what the U.S. Treasury OFAC is investigating, once again, I'm reading from Yahoo News right now. The Office of Foreign Assets Control administers and enforces U.S. economic sanctions programs, including the long-standing Cuba embargo. The investigation centers on whether the convoy participants violated sanctions law through the financing of travel, coordination of logistics, or delivery of goods to Cuba, including any contact with Cuban government entities or personnel. A subpoena from OFAC is an administrative action, not a criminal indictment, but it compels the recipient to provide records and information to investigators. Piker said before the trip that he had it cleared with OFAC in advance, although the streamer has not shown any proof of such communication publicly. Whether that prior contact provides legal protection is something his lawyers will have to work through. The scope of the probe is broad. According to Fox News, around 40 Americans are being examined over aid convoys and flotillas to Cuba over the course of 2026, with more subpoenas expected. So I think that's enough information for us to go off of. Yeah, it's not great. It's another example of how your speech and your activism can be weaponized against you by the US government in a way that is so open and flagrant that I don't know, it hazards no comparison within this century. There's simply no other um, time I can compare it to, or any other concerted set of actions. It's a policy that is new to us, or at least new to this age of America. The idea of America like suppressing its freedom, its citizens' freedom of speech, is not itself all that unusual, and the idea of the U.S. government like compelling testimony in the case of someone doing activism that doesn't behoove them, right? It's not like the U.S. government has not done this before. It's just that we haven't done it in a really long time. The U.S. government hasn't engaged in this kind of thing since probably like the 60s or 70s, at the very most recent, and it was definitely way more famous for doing it in the 50s and before. So it's a real backsliding kind of thing. Of course, there's lots of people that don't want to see it that way, because you have to remember how many people are still allied to the Zionist cause and allied to the cause of fighting communism worldwide, whatever that means. And those two interests coinciding can explain most American foreign policy decisions. happy to say that my parents raised me right. And even as a kid, when I would see Zionist flags out and about, because there was a couple that people flew at their houses on my bus route as a kid. And even as a child, I remember thinking, why the fuck are these people flying a flag that is definitely not our state flag and definitely not the US flag? Mind you, this is at a time, I live in Mississippi, I grew up in Mississippi. This is at a time where our state flag was rather recognizable, if you know what I mean. So I knew it wasn't our flag, and I knew it wasn't the US government's flag. But I would see this blue and white flag flying on a couple of different flagpoles, and every fucking time, even when I was a kid, like I'm saying, I'm like 7, 8, all the way up till I was 14. I swear to God, the last bus trip I ever did there before I switched school districts, I probably had that thought run through my head. Why the fuck are these fucking jabronis flying some other fucking country's flag? Who the fuck? Who does that? You know, like. And I'm saying, like, if you want to have like an Israeli flag hanging off of your house, fine. I guess it's whatever. But like, I don't know. Call me a jingoistic, patriotic motherfucker, but it seems like a little demeaning and weird to me to suggest that Israel deserves to be somewhere on the fucking American hierarchy. It's supposed to be U.S. flag, state flag. If you want to have an Israeli flag, put that shit in your backyard on a different fucking flagpole, bitch. Zionists are America haters? Goddamn right. As near as I can tell, they are. If Zionists aren't American haters, then why do they want to like form like a distinct ethno state in the Middle East where they can like export a bunch of our tax dollars and weapons without having to deal with any of American culture? What you smoking? I believe this is headband. American flag should always come first. As far as I remember, according to the flag code, it's supposed to be American flag at the top, state flag below that, if you want to fly a state flag below that, and then like the Palmilla flag or, other, like there's certain flags that you're allowed to fly under that main one. But it always has just seemed very strange to me to fly the Israeli flag on the same fucking flagpole one would fly their state and federal. Israel's our greatest leech state. Israel's basically a huge welfare state living off the strength and work of the American people. Yes, unironically, yeah. Literally, they are benefiting from all the technological advancements of America while not contributing all that much to them. They are benefiting massively from the shield of protection afforded by the U.S. Navy and the U.S. Army and the Air Force, while not altogether contributing all that much to the security overall, considering how much they benefit from it. They are incredibly reliant on U.S. tax dollars and federal money that is funded, ostensibly through, the sale of treasury bonds. But if ever that should be unreliable, if ever we should cease to be the world's reserve currency, then it's going to be U.S. taxpayers responsible for paying that bill and footing those charges. And I think it's high time that we fucking break up with the fucking genocidal ethno state called Israel. If we absolutely insist on having tanks in Palestine, at this point, I'd rather them be heading toward Tel Aviv rather than being sent away from it. According to U.S. flag etiquette and U.S. flag code, um, foreign national flags should generally fly at the same height as the U.S. flag when displayed together, but they're not supposed to be displayed together on the same pole, though, and that's the point I'm making. Not even that, just leave them alone to fight their own battles. I mean, that's what I'm saying, like, ultimately. But I want to make sure that it's clear. I would rather, if we are going to insist on having fucking United States military personnel and equipment traversing the land of Samaria and Judea, I would rather that those tanks be attacking the state of Israel than the non-state of Palestine, where millions of stateless people are continuously held in ever-bombed stasis. Have you ever smoked meth? No. And nor would I want to. Stimulants hold no particular allure for me. Much more of a downers girl. Very much a downers kind of girl. Trump is Israel's first puppet who hasn't done anything to improve the quality of American lives. Zion non-Trumpstein. All right, we might be going a little bit far. We might be going a little bit far with that one there at the end, but in general, I do agree with the sentiment. I don't think anybody at this point can make the argument that Donald Trump is a good president for the United States, that he's a qualified leader, or that he's improved the lives of the people who live here. Certainly, he's not made the gas cheaper. Let's see, what did King Bug say? Israel has been violating agreements since 1948. Yeah, literally, since their formation, they have been steady trying to break more and more agreements. It's like they get into agreements just to see how much they can fuck them off. Nick is a stimulant? Well, sure, but it's not a stimulant on the same level as meth, okay? Oh, man. Sorry. Biden granted Israel 95 billion before he left office. Well, yeah. He's a fucking shit lib. What did you expect? That's the problem with this two-party dichotomy we've got here in America at a federal level. Your local Democrat might be a good person. Your local Democrat might be anti-Zionist. But on a national level, the party itself is firmly Zionist. So, of course, a guy like Joe Biden is going to support Israel effectively no matter what happens. There is no red line Israel can cross that would deprive them of Joe Biden's unhindered support. It's simply not. It simply is not something that can be done. Okay, and when you understand that, you really understand what we're up against. We are up against a concerted effort. Okay, we are up against a concerted effort on the part of both parties to silence the voice of the American people, to make our lives worse, and to do so at the expense of the billionaire class. Keep in mind, the only reason why we value Israel so much is because we want control over Middle Eastern oil and resources. And Israel has been the most effective bludgeon we've ever found for securing that. The religious justifications, they're all just icing on the shit cake. All these religious battles, the holy war that this is all made out to be, that's all smoke and mirrors. Yes, the people on the ground very much believe it. The jihadists, the Zionists, the Christian fundamentalists. All of those people genuinely believe it, or at least very many of them do. But the people using those people to advance their own interests by dominating the Middle East through their proxy known as Israel don't give a fuck about the rapture. They know for a fact that shit ain't coming. Because, like every other fucking rational thinking person, anybody that can throw off the chains of ancient Bronze Age religion, they can see that none of these rapture stories have anything to them. They can see that there's no supernatural bullshit to the world that can't be better explained by science, right? And once you understand that, right, you can either be a secular humanist who advances the interests of human beings as a whole, or you can, in their case, right, in the case of the billionaire class, people who know better, right, they are manipulating the faith of gullible people who believe in Bronze Age superstitions in order to manufacture consent for an aggressive and illegal war that we don't need to be involved in, and an ongoing campaign of imperialism in the Middle East. Don't let anyone tell you different on the IP issue, by the way. Don't let anyone fucking make it out to be this religious battle thing. No, that is all smoke and mirrors. Jews and Palestinians, Arab Palestinians, Muslims, Jews and Muslims lived side by side in what we now refer to as Israel and Palestine for literally thousands of years before Israel. Unironically, look it up. Just ask Gemini. Is the modern apartheid state of Israel the worst segregation historically seen in that region between Muslims and Jewish people? Let's just do it right now, because I'm willing to bet that it is. I'm willing to bet that it unironically is. You see, there's a myth that's told about Israel, and I want to refute that real quick. Oh my God, yep. So I was pretty much right. Yeah. Yeah, I was pretty much right. So I don't know, like we can read over this Gemini overview if you guys want to. I can read it out to you, but I think I would just like to talk to you guys about the findings because it pretty much matches up with what I had already known, and I just wanted to verify. So let me read this super chat from King Bugs real quick. Phoebe, have you been following the potential SpaceX IPO? How is a company that bleeds billions in revenue worth nearly 2 trillion in market cap? Financialization, basically. The entire economy basically is speculation and financialization at this point, and it's kind of been that way for a long time. It's been trending towards that. The earliest example of this, in my opinion, at least the earliest American example of this, would be a guy like Warren Buffett. If you don't know, Berkshire Hathaway originated as a textile company in Berkshire County, Massachusetts, it- far west Massachusetts, on the border of Mass and New York. There was a textile company called Berkshire Mills, and there was also another place called Hathaway Manufacturing Company, I think, and it was or Hathaway Textile Company. I can't remember, but basically Warren Buffett bought these two companies at the very ass end of American textile manufacturing, and as they started to become less and less profitable as textile manufacturers, he started. Well, first of all, he turned them into a holding company, and then he started drawing down their production as textile manufacturers and started buying up more and more companies and more um, financial instruments. And in that way, he was able to turn this failing textile manufacturer in Western Massachusetts into, I think it might be one of the biggest holding companies today. So it's financialization writ large, basically, unfettered, um, but predictable financialization, given how the economy's been going over the last 7,500 years. So, we were talking about Israel a minute ago, and I just want to share this with you guys. I asked Gemini, are there any historical areas or eras wherein the land currently known as Israel and Palestine were under as severe ethno-religious segregations as they are presently in the apartheid state of Israel and its occupied territories? And its answer was this. The history of this region is characterized by a long succession of imperial and colonial administrations, many of which utilized legal and physical segregation as a tool of governance. While apartheid is a specific modern legal framework, historians often point to several eras where ethno-religious groups were subjected to rigid, tiered legal systems and forced separation. So we got the Crusader period, which is going to be interesting, I think, because a lot of people who talk about how um, like a lot of people who try and come out on the Zionist side from a Christian perspective these days don't talk about this, but I think it'll be interesting for us to learn about it. The Kingdom of Jerusalem is perhaps the most frequently cited historical parallel for a multi-tiered legal and physical separation based on religion. You got the Latin hierarchy, where society was strictly stratified. Latin Christians, so Crusaders, held all political power and legal privileges. Eastern Christians, Greeks, Armenians, Syrians, were protected but lacked full rights. Exclusion from Jerusalem. So, following this conquest in 1099, Muslims and Jews were initially banned from living in Jerusalem entirely. Even after the ban was partially relaxed for Jews, the city remained a largely segregated enclave for the Latin ruling class. So here we have Christians segregating Jerusalem away from the two religious communities that currently fight over it most fervently. Then we got legal dualism. There were separate court systems for Franks and non-Franks. A Muslim or Jew could not testify against a Christian in many contexts, creating a profound legal inequality. So in that case, we can definitely point to conditions that are somewhat similar in a lot of different ways. But in that case, it was the Christians who were the oppressors. So how do we feel about that one? It's a little interesting, isn't it? A little interesting, but they're all living together. That's the thing I want to stress as we talk about all of these. This idea that no Jewish people lived in Israel or the land we now call Israel before 1948 is a myth. It's a myth that's been taught to people by the state of Israel. It's a myth that's been fucking propagated by Israeli propaganda and its willing parrots here in the United States. So anyway, then you got the late Byzantine slash Palestinian era, which is 5th to 7th century CE. During the Byzantine rule of the provinces of Palestina Prima and Secunda, religious segregation was enforced through the Justinianic Code. The Jewish and Samaritan statutes dictated that laws explicitly forbade Jews and Samaritans from holding public office, serving in the military, or building new synagogues. So there's some segregation against Jewish people, but they're still there. They are still present. There's still conflict going on. There's still development happening, is the point. Um, then we've got physical segregation. The Samaritan revolts between 484 and 572 CE led to massive state-sponsored displacement and the eventual categorization of Samaritans as an outlawed religious group, severely restricting where they could live and how they could own land. Then you've got the Ottoman millet system. This is the early 60th century. Fuck, I can't talk. The early 16th century to 1922. So, often described as a system of religious autonomy, the millet system was also a form of institutionalized segregation. So you got legal enclaves. Each religious community, Muslim, Jewish, Orthodox, etc., was governed by its own religious laws for civil matters. While this allowed for self-governance, it also meant that a person's rights and legal standing were determined entirely by their ethno-religious identity. Thank you, King Mugs, for that gifted 5 memberships. I appreciate that a ton. Then you got the social hierarchy where Muslims were the Militi Hakim, the ruling nation, while others were dhimmis, as in protected subjects. Dhimmis were subject to specific taxes, the jizya, jizya, jizya. I'm assuming it's jizya. And codes of dress and behavior intended to mark their secondary status in the public square. So that's pretty fucked up. But I will fucking tell you, it's not nearly as fucked up as bombing an entire people to smithereens and continuously oppressing them with like border walls and checks and police checkpoints and like settlers just kicking you out of your house and shit like that. So then we got modern context in the 1947 partition. The current situation is often traced back to the collapse of these older imperial systems and the subsequent British Mandate. The transition from communal autonomy to territorial nationalism in the mid-20th century transformed social segregation into the border-based and military-enforced segregation seen today. So here's the key difference. In previous eras, segregation was often communal. Different laws applied to people in the same town. Modern segregation is largely territorial, using walls, checkpoints, and ID systems to physically separate populations into different zones of control. And if you examine the modern state of Israel, that is 100% correct. If you examine the history of that region, you will find that what Jim and I codified for me right there is 100% correct. It was able to give me the relevant facts in a way that was immediately presentable and didn't require me to sit here fucking remembering stonery shit for fucking 30 minutes, you know? But nonetheless, that's an argument to disprove anybody that thinks that there was some like unique kind of anybody that thinks that there was some like unique lack of Jewish people in that region before 1948 simply misunderstands the history. Anybody that says, well, it was always segregated also misunderstands the history and the nature and depravity of the segregation we're discussing. Why do you look like my grandma? I don't know. Maybe your grandma just looked really badass. You ever thought about that, kid? The billionaires should be taxed to such a degree that everyone making less than 60,000 a year gets a free house, property, and monthly grocery rations. Yeah, something like that. Basically, unironically, yes, we need something like that. All right, I gotta go use the bathroom. Ow. Oh God. Oh. Oh. I should have gotten up and stretched sooner than that. Ah, Jesus Christ. But yeah, I would like to see them nationalize housing for like all people below. Well, I think we could start with everybody making like 30 grand or less and just start massively. Well, we'll talk about it in a minute. Oh, Lord have mercy. My God, I feel so much better. Whee! Alrighty, anyway, so here's how I see um, the housing thing being done here in America. I think that anybody making less than 100,000 a year collective household income that has a mortgage, I think that um, a deal should be worked out whereby those mortgages are paid off in one big lump sum by the federal government, um, for less than probably what they would be uh, paid if, like, they went through the whole 30 years, because I don't see any reason why we need to rip ourselves off that much. I don't see why we need to leave ourselves beholden to banks. But yeah, basically, the government would pay off a massive chunk of mortgages belonging to people with a collective household income of like 100,000 or less. You start with them, and then you start with apartment complexes where the rent is, say, less than $1,000 a month, and the government starts buying up these properties or eminent domaining the properties if the owners won't sell. And slowly but surely, the government would buy up more and more property, and how housing would start to work would be a lot better and more equitable for everybody. You would be able to pass your house on to your kids, and if you've got more than one kid, then, whichever one of them wants it gets it, and if they none of them want it, then your house goes on the wait list and on the availability page on the government website or the newspaper or whatever, right? And people can apply to go move into that place because they don't like where they're at, right? And nobody's actually paying a month-to-month rent cost after a while. But at first, it would just like the biggest thing you would see at first would be slashing people's rent payments because the government doesn't need to make massive amounts of profit off of owning these buildings. That's why your rent is so high. It's not because it actually costs that much more to maintain these places. That's not why. Trust me, they cut every corner they can. If you've ever lived in an apartment or a rented home, you know that to be true. So trust me, it's not that it's gotten that much more expensive to be a landlord. They've just gotten that much more greedy. And the market has made adjustments that have allowed them to do that. Okay? But it's getting harder and harder for more and more people. And that's why more and more I really am leaning into this idea of nationalizing housing. And I think it's got to start somewhere. And I think you start with the lowest income housing first. So people who've already got mortgages that don't make much, then people who live, and at the same time, people who live in apartments that are like the first kind of tier entry level kind of apartments, go from there. Iran has the largest Jewish population in the Middle East, yet we are told they want to. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. King Bugs, you're 100% right on that. Thank you for the $10. I appreciate that a ton. We have this perception. I know this is the departure from the previous subject matter, but we have this perception here in the West, and it's something that Israeli propaganda propagates and puts out there, and it's something that even we here in the United States kind of push out and parrot, that like Israel is the only safe home for Jewish people in the world, and that's like so untrue that it's like laughable. You've got big Jewish populations in other places in the Middle East besides Israel, Iran being most notable, like you said, King Bugs. But you've also got big Jewish populations in the UK, in in France at this point, I'm pretty sure. In Spain and fucking America and Canada. Like there's like plenty large Jewish populations in these places too. And it's not like it's particularly hard to run into a Jewish person in any of these places I've listed. But thank you for the $10, King Bugs. I appreciate that a ton. I thought you were a boy. No, I'm a trans woman. Zionism isn't Judaism? True. There is a very big and important distinction. Goyim slop. If you're going to say something like that, if you're going to try and be anti-Semitic in my chat, the least you could do is spell the slur correctly. Although it's not actually a slur. Like, anti-Semites will use Goyim like it's a slur, but it's not. Like, Jewish people don't use it as a slur, typically. At least not in my experience. Maybe they do now, just because it's kind of become a meme. But in practice, goyim is no different from demi, or what do Christians call it? I think they ripped off a related, originally Judaic term, Gentiles, to refer to the non-converted. I can't remember exactly what Christians call the, you know, people of different faiths. Smoke a bowl of salvia? No thanks. Why is everyone bullying this person? 3 reasons. Number 1, there are entire farms full of bots and human beings who are paid 12 hours a day to sit around spewing specific narratives that specific people want to be spouted online. And those people go around to random live chats trying to stir the pot. So that's the first reason. Number 2 reason is because some of them are attracted to trans women. Maybe they're attracted to trans people in general, and they just don't want to admit it or acknowledge that or deal with it in any real way. They certainly are not going to talk to a therapist about it. They're not going to work through it like any adult person with a firm grasp on their own sexuality. So all they're left with, basically, is the pent-up vitriol of a person who's not allowed to express their real feelings and be into who they really want to be with. In a lot of cases, these are conservative men, sometimes conservative women, who are stuck with a conservative partner that is completely opposed to all of this fucking gay shit, who secretly usually wants it just as much as they do. It's like this weird system of self-defeating anger that just festers and eats at itself, and it explodes out in public freakouts with Karens at McDonald's and vitriolic super chats and regular chats and live streams, and it's crazy, right? You've seen it. You see it here. You've seen it out in the wild. Um, such contradictions can only be held for so long. They have to be addressed, or they result in what you see here in the chat, right? So, the other thing, and it's very related, and it basically causes the exact same thing, so I won't go as into detail on that, but they are occasionally closeted trans people who are not allowed to express themselves genuinely. They aren't allowed to wear the clothes that they want to wear or have the gender expression that they actually relate to and identify with. And they lash out at people like me because we represent a freedom that they never had and that they feel like they're never going to have access to. It's actually sad when you realize that that's part of the operative factor for some of these people. Girl or boy, girl. I just hope you're happy. I am fucking awesome, actually. I just ordered like $1,500 worth of upgrades for the channel to be received over the next couple of weeks. I've got a ton of stuff that's going to be coming to make you guys' experience better. So, I'm awesome. What kind of door is that behind you? I don't know, just some aluminum door, I guess. I didn't pick it out. You articulate yourself very well. Thank you. Girl to boy or boy to... So I'm a trans woman. That means that I was born assigned male at birth and assigned a male gender identity as a result of that. I never really related to that at all. Even from a very young age, I was trying my best to be a part of women's spaces, to gravitate towards women's fashion, and that was kind of suppressed in me for a long time. But as I grew up, became a teenager, started to be enabled to engage in more self-expression, it just, that feeling wouldn't give up, wouldn't go away, and only got stronger. So eventually, I learned what trans people were. In fact, it's sad. The first transgender person I ever knew about was Leela Alcorn, who was a trans girl. She was 16, killed herself by running out in front of a semi truck. Awful, awful death. And she was the first trans person I ever heard of. And reading her story, finally I was like, oh my God, she's just like me. I'm just like her. I feel that. I'm not suicidal, but I feel that. And I finally had a term to describe what I was feeling: gender dysphoria and transgender. And the more I read, the more I learned, the more I realized that this unequivocally applies to me. But I fought with it for a long time. I lived in, I came out in 2020, and I would say before 2020, it was pretty difficult in the areas that I lived in to be like an open trans person, but it became a lot easier after the pandemic. There's something about that year that changed people's perceptions a lot. I think it made people a lot more easygoing when it comes to accepting people who are different socially, but it also made people a lot more paranoid and tense. So I guess it's not really I guess it all comes out in the wash. But before then, I felt like I was kind of compelled to try my best and figure out some way to fit into masculinity. Because, well, no matter how trans I feel, there's got to be some other way. There's got to be some other explanation. And that is the misapprehension that I struggled under for a long time. Eventually, the contradiction became too much for me to bear, and I realized that there's really no more reason why I couldn't come out as trans and live my authentic life than I could do anything else. And, well, after that, it was just a simple matter of landing on a name that actually fit me and letting everybody know. Well, and buying a new wardrobe, etc., etc. New haircut. There were a number of steps, to be sure. Work should be to encourage a thriving and meaningful life. If housing and groceries were free, then I could follow my passions, work a job I actually enjoy, and spending money on things that enrich my life. Well, yeah, I mean, how I see it, like being introduced at first would be like housing is nationalized, okay? So eventually nobody's paying for housing. Eventually it's just coming out of taxes, but it would require like a step up, right? It would require like a stepping stone type of process where the government nationalizes a certain amount of housing and like slashes the rent for those people, and then nationalizes some more housing, and then once you've got enough housing nationalized and you've got the systems that keep these places built up enough, then you can start slashing rents down to nothing, down to the point where it can just be a tax appropriation from those people's paychecks over the course of a year, or from the corporate profits that go through this country, or whatever, right? But it would require that stepping up process. Sometimes I feel like the only American left with vision, you know? I'll sit here and paint you my bright and shiny vision for a socialist future. And I don't, I try not to call it a utopia outside of specifically joking about it, because I really don't think a utopia is possible. But I do think that there are some socialist policies we could adopt that would help our society so tremendously, nationalizing housing being chief among them. Honestly, if we don't start looking at land differently than we look at it in this country, we are going to end up with a country that has very, 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 very little land left for anyone that isn't a rich fuck. What work you doing for a living? This. I'm a monetized YouTube creator. In fact, I just spent like $1,500 on a bunch of channel upgrades, set lighting, a couple of Rode mics. Those are the things I'm most excited to get set up. There are a couple of lav mics. I bought the red ones because red is the color of anarchy and fucking, Antifa and shit. So, and I wanted it to like, I don't know, I wanted it to stand out against the black of my shirt or whatever outfit I'm wearing. So, I got one of the red ones, or it's a pair of mics, really. But anyway, that's the thing I'm most excited about. But I also got some set lighting coming and some other stuff, and it's going to be awesome to see what we can make after we've got all those upgrades put together. You're just leeching. It's not leeching if the people who fund me want to do it because they enjoy the content that they're listening to. I'm not coming to these people with my hand out like, I'm so poor, please help me. I tell people, if you like the content that you're watching, feel free to donate a little bit. You can do so either through Cash App, which is down below in the description, or you can do that by hitting the Super Chat button, or by gifting memberships, you know? I tell people what benefits they might incur if they do these things, and if they choose to do so, it's of their own volition. The people funding you are in a sound mind, obviously. Oh, okay. Internet doctor here. Here to tell us how many people are fucking diagnosed with mental disorders because they want to fund my channel. I don't know, man. It seems like you might be the person with a mental disorder if you think you're qualified to run around on the internet calling a bunch of other people diagnosable on the basis of their support for a trans creator on this platform just trying to make a fucking clean living, you know? Oh, god damn it. Alright. I don't know what's going on, but it sounds like there might be a fucking possum or some shit down there. So let's go run that off. Let's go find out what's getting to the chickens. Shouldn't be nothing getting to the chickens, man. When I was a kid, that cage never had any intrusions. Capitalism and colonialism are the problem. Yeah, I mean, pretty much, yeah. Capitalism more than colonialism at this point. But perhaps that's just because capitalism is a broader term. I just hope it's nothing huge. It's not anything. I just don't want it to be some big sumbitch, you know? Let's see, what do we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, 6. Alright. Well, whatever got that chicken last night came back for the rest of it. Let's see, let's make sure I don't put nothing in there. No, do have an egg though, I think. Egg or a piece of poop, hard to tell. Huh? Okay, well, I don't see anything out here. Alright. Oh, back inside we go. And it doesn't hurt to look. Whoa! What the fuck? What the hell, man? I know you guys can't see. It's not important for you guys to be able to see. It's important for me to be able to see. I'm kidding. I'll be back inside where you guys can see me in a minute. I just had to make sure that the chickens were okay. Ear frog. Frog. Yes. There are many frog. Oh. Oh. Alrighty. So what were we talking about? Do any of y'all respect frogs as the amazing amphibians they are helping control insect populations? I know I do. I know I do. If you hear lots of frogs, yeah, let's just go over the reasons why frogs are cool. So number one, frogs help control insect populations. All the ones that annoy human beings are the same insects that frogs love to eat, or that they eat the larvae of, or that their tadpoles eat the larvae of. Number two, frogs are very often what are called indicator species. Not every frog is, but a lot of frog species are indicator species that can tell you by their very presence how high quality an environment is. Oh, way down south in the land of traders, rattlesnakes and alligators, right away, right away, right away, come away. Where cotton is king and men are chattel, Union men will win those battles right away, come away, right away, come away. We're marching down to Dixie, hooray, hooray. We're marching down to Dixie. Each southern boy must understand that he must find his Uncle Sam, hooray, hooray. We're marching down to Dixie, hooray, hooray. We're marching down the Dixie. Hooray, hooray. We're marching down to Dixie. Stop being so hateful, Pookie. Come on. What are you talking about? What's going on now? What's happening? What's happening in my chat? We were having this lovely conversation about the nationalization of housing and how, like, how much. By the way, I don't know if that person is still around, but you are 100% right. Nationalizing housing and giving people a basic amount, just like paid for by the collective labor represented with taxes, to spend every month in grocery expenditures, like just a basic fucking like that, just that alone would be such a fucking transformational thing when it comes to unlocking human potential and enabling people to do the things they really want to do. Imagine how many sculptors there would be if they weren't toiling away as janitors, factory workers, cashiers, line cooks and fry cooks. Imagine how many doctors and lawyers and how many um, brilliant civil engineers and mechanical engineers that we've missed out on because those people are too busy trying to keep themselves afloat, that they can't, they're so busy trying to keep themselves afloat they can't afford to apply themselves in a way that would enable them to follow these paths. You know, there's this sentiment. I forget who first popularized it, but there's this sentiment I think about all the time. What if the second Einstein has been born a number of times over and has just been lost in the fray of higher and higher rents and urban decay and stagnant wages and increasing economic pressure? Hmm. I feel like there's three different conversations going on in the chat right now, and I'm not sure that I'm actually privy to any of them. I bet frogs would support universal health care. I bet they would. Listen to the frogs. They know what's up. You should find that out. Really, it's an individual journey. Blood and bows. What the fuck are you talking about? Because, like, I can't tell if you're talking to me or somebody else in the chat or if there's, like, some other thing going on I can't tell. But I'm confused. Universal healthcare is nice. Indeed it is. It's not just nice, it's the empirically right way to do things. No matter what metric you prioritize, universal healthcare systems come out on top. Unless the only metric you prioritize is the profits of multi-billion-dollar corporations that make their entire existence being a middleman between you and the care you need. Frogs definitely would not be taking money from fossil fuel lobbyists. Well, something tells me that's 100% right. I need some hot tea. Yeah, maybe a little bit. Maybe I do a bit. Members, sound off. How many members we got? How many members we got in this bitch? How many members? Let's see, we got 1, 2. The frogs need a monopoly on lily pad insurance. 3. Oh crap, we got 3 members? Do you like your username? I just made it this year. Blood and Bows. Yeah, it's a good username. Marsh Denizen? Yes. Proctor, MD. Marsh Denizen. Yeah. So we've only got 3 members in here right now? Is that true? Because I want to turn it to a members only stream. I tell you what, we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it, and if it just ends up being me and 3 other people, then that's what it ends up being, and I'll try to be as entertaining as I can be. But you guys are about to be on the spot if you remember. Because we're gonna try this. We're gonna actually try this. Let's see here. Let's see here. How do I? Let's see here. How do I? Don't want to do that. Here we go. Aha! Alrighty. Alrighty. What are you doing? Get out of here. Stop it. Beautiful members only chat. Ah. Isn't it better in here, guys? Suddenly it smells a lot better. Suddenly everyone's a lot hotter. The green chat. Yep, the green and blue chat. 100%. Hell yeah. Thank you guys for being members. This is cool. This is going to be a fun little experiment. Wow, so true. I know, right? Instantly the quality is improved. If you would like to join us over here in the cool kids section, just sign up for a membership. That's all you got to do. Oh, I'm so happy. This is going to be so fun. Oh my god, I'm so excited. Ah! I should play some music and reward you guys for lasting this long. But let's enjoy a bowl together, shall we? Loading a bowl now. Nice. Well, I've got plenty, and I'll deconstruct this J if I've smoked through too much of this by the time you update me with the status of your completed bowl. It'll be fun. I don't know how much longer I'm going to stay on. I think I'll at least do 20, 30 more minutes. I do have an appointment today to get some repairs done on the family vehicle, which is cool. I'm just really glad that I can afford to do that, and since we're doing a members only chat anyway, and you guys are here, thank you guys for being members of my channel, for all of you who support and gift memberships and everything else, because you've enabled me to be a way more effective breadwinner for my family. As of right now, I've spent more than anybody else in the household on maintaining the family vehicle. And I'm proud of that. I don't think it's an imposition or anything like that. I'm proud of it. I'm glad that I'm finally able to do that. I'm gonna light up an incense. I'm gonna light up an incense. We're gonna fucking maximize aura. We are going to aura farm in this members only chat. I shall enjoy my glass of Coca-Cola. Big vibes. Huge vibes with the Coca-Cola. Sometimes you can't get high, and that's fine. Yes, please play some music, please. I might just do it because you know what? It's members only chat anyway. You guys are cool. You guys have paid for your right to have a little bit of music sprinkled upon your heads every so often. I second music. We've got two different people. Yeah, we're gonna do a little smoke session, a little music. It sounds like we've got no hardcore time limit, so that works to our advantage. I don't have my baby this week, so. There we go. And we'll put that right here, I guess. Oh, that one smells so good. That incense smells so good. I was gifted my membership, but I'm happy to be existing in a way that supports others. Yeah, no, for sure. I'm glad you're able to participate in this members only chat thanks to a gifted membership. That's awesome. That's why I encourage the gifted memberships, because it gives an opportunity for people who can't afford to get a membership to still experience the benefits of that and to feel like they're helping out the channel and everything. It's awesome. And that's why I appreciate King Bug so much, It's really cool. Yay! Good for you. Thank you, Dirty Dan and Nicole. I know it's big. For me, it's huge. Big life developments, big progress. All good. What kind of incense is that? I have no idea. I wish that there were incense companies that would figure out a way to wouldn't it be nice, right? I guess that they would require custom holders or maybe really specific manufacturing methods, but maybe I should come up with a rich people brand of incense and market it to rich fucks and then just give big bundles of it away to poor people that can't afford to buy it, right? Like, I would feel cool about doing that, as long as I could give like an equal amount of what's being bought to people who can't afford to buy them, right? But like a type of incense where the like specific flavor or whatever is printed on the little wooden stick. Like, what if the stick had two ends that were narrow, but one of them was like very short and one of them was very long, and that's the side that the incense is attached to. And then you've got this little flange that's about the size of a popsicle stick on which the name of the scent is written. I don't know why somebody hasn't done that already. I mean, you can market anything to rich people by making it seem like it's fancier than it actually is. Well, I think just that alone would be enough to make it fancier than it would otherwise seem. Thought I heard something. I don't think I did. Just put flakes of gold leaf in it and call it artesian instead of artisan. Yeah, I guess that could work, huh? That would be, I guess, a pretty good way to do it. Um, Hi, Phoebes. What's up, Digital KO? We're doing our first members only chat, so we're gonna smoke a little, then we're gonna do some music, and it's gonna be fun. And I've got some incense going. Gotta give it a fancy and pretentious sounding name, or else it won't be rich enough. Yeah, true, true. What about something like Bliss Sticks or something, you know? We'll have to workshop this idea a little bit. I have to move this incense. It's producing a lot of smell, but it's also producing a lot of smoke that's going right in my nose, right in my mouth. So even I don't get to read the algo bot bingo card comments. Yeah, unfortunately, we kind of grew sick of those and we kicked them out in favors of a members only chat. Yeah, they were particularly awful tonight. I dealt with it for about an hour and then I was like, let's just do a members only chat and see how it feels and see what it's like. And so far, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 different members just in the last 2 minutes participating in the chat. So that points to, in my mind, a pretty successful members program. I am here, by the way. Nice! You can still comment in a members only stream. That's awesome. That's good to know. You can still comment on a members only chat. That's good. That's so fucking cool. Having something nice in the background while doing fashion in Warframe is nice. Nice. Well, for whatever purpose I serve, for the many different people who watch me, I'm just glad that I can be that for you guys. And I'm glad that there are people who are willing to shell out a couple of bucks every so often to, ensure that I can continue doing that kind of thing. And I like to think that I actually provide a little bit of interesting commentary to go along with it. Like, you might actually think every so often about something we talk about here, you know? Mod powers! I know, right? Stairs into the distance. I should play Warframe again. What the fuck is Warframe? Can somebody explain Warframe to me? What is Warframe? Back in my day, we didn't have no Warframe. No, I'm kidding. It's probably something that's older than me. I always love your streams. They've been a light, and the members they've been a light, and the members and you have helped me through. Oh, they've been a light, and the members in you, okay, have helped me through a really sad time. Well, I'm glad. I'm really genuinely glad to hear that, and I'm glad that you're having a good time in these streams, that we can help you through sad times. Although it's admittedly a little hard for me to imagine how exactly I do that. But if anything, that's good, because I'll just keep on doing it, right? I'll just keep on doing it. This guitar's out of tune. Space Ninja game that's like 12-year-old and still gets better updates than most games? Damn, that actually sounds kind of neat. Dude, one of the things I'm excited to be able to do, one of the things I'm really excited to be able to do when these upgrades for my PC come in, and I just hope and pray that the OEM fucking replacement fucking, um, uh, what is it called? Power supply module that I bought to upgrade the one that came with my pre-built gaming PC. Which I know, stupid, I get it, right? Fucking rent donut, all that. I get it, okay? But if I have to, I'm gonna handle these parts correctly and everything. And if I try to get it all assembled together and it doesn't work, then whatever. I will start over from the ground up if I have to. But one of the things I'm excited to do whenever I do have my PC put together in full form with these upgrades is maybe stream some games. And I'm definitely going to be looking to expand the fucking library if I do that. Although expanding the library is going to be a bit hard unless I upgrade my storage. Which is maybe possible. I don't know. Guess I'll just have to look at my motherboard. I'll just have to, I really will. I'll just have to look at the motherboard and see if I can find any documentation online. Because I really want to see how far I can push this little bitch with upgrades. Wait, are you telling me a southern state said no to Trump? Yeah, that was the other big thing in the news. South Carolina lawmakers rejected the Trump-backed redistricting push, and it was pretty much like a complete betrayal as far as like some White House advisors were concerned. They were not expecting that whatsoever. They fully expected the Republican Party to put this upcoming election into flux and everything else, all basically to exclude a black Democrat from the possibility of retaining his seat. And they chose to actually act with conscience and morality and not do that. How bad does it have to be for a southern state to reject it? Well, I think like as bad as it's been, right? In my opinion, it was only a matter of time before we eventually started to see some of these southern states and red states starting to reject Trump's like rule by writ kind of principle. Because I think that a lot of people within the Republican, I think a lot of people within the Republican Party, and a lot of people within the American electorate in general, know that Trump is more or less on his way out. He might still have some supporters, still got plenty of supporters, um, but he is not like a well-liked force in American politics. And there are lots of people within the Republican Party and adjacent to the Republican Party who do not like Trump and who have wanted to distance themselves from the fat orange moron for a long time. So I honestly, I'm shocked that it took this long for one of these states to start pushing back. But it kind of makes sense that it's South Carolina, a state which is not um, as I would imagine South Carolina being, after all, a coastal state, is probably not quite as heavily Republican propagandized as some other southern states. Like, it would be a real shocker if something like Mississippi did that, right? But it's not really that much of a shocker to me that South Carolina does. Um, it's mainly a shocker because it's such a direct um, rejection of Trump and everything. And it's really, like I said, not a shocker if you understand how things have been going. Geez, the American political climate sounds like it's getting more insane. No, it definitely is. Like, pretty much every day, the American political climate gets a little bit more insane. Glad to know of all the faults South Carolina is trying to step away from their racist roots. Yeah, trying their best. Slowly but surely. It's an uphill battle, though. Got a cupboard of cans of food, filtered water, and pictures of you. And I'm not coming out until this is all over. And I'm looking through the glass where the light bends at the grass. And I'm screaming at the top of my lungs, pretending that the echoes belong to someone. Someone that I used to know. And will become silhouettes in the bodies finally go home. Wanted to walk through the empty streets, feel something solid underneath my feet. But all the radio reports recommended that we stay indoors, because the air outside made our skin dissolve at an alarming rate. And the bombs that form a fill with glass until the skin cracks and they explode. It won't be a pretty sight. And will become silhouettes in the bodies finally go home. And will become silhouettes in the bodies finally go home. Thank you for the hearts. Thank you, thank you. 250 years only for an overgrown Oompa Loompa to try and ruin it? Yeah, I know. But, take heart, young friend. Trump will not be our undoing. The tendencies that led to Trump might be our undoing, and a series of bad leaders like him might contribute to that quite heavily. But, I don't know. Just listen to this song. I'm growing old in rooms full of kids with unruly haircuts. Keeping the think that we can. Okay, I do want to play the song, but I gotta look up the lyrics first. Let me, from here to. Damn it, I can't type. Oh, yeah, okay. I don't know why I couldn't remember the name of that song. Alrighty. I'm growing old in rooms full of kids with unruly haircuts, taking what comfort we can in the fact that every empire's days are numbered, and but I don't think that I can count that high. I should have paid better attention in school or something, 'cause I feel like there's something that I don't know, and if I could just jam it right into my soul, I could stand to live somehow, but I don't know. And the fact is I'm 2.7 decades in to a growing ambivalence. I can count on one hand how many fucks I'm given, or is it a million? Our garden boy equivalents, are we making total destroyer just making a living? And I know that Rome wasn't burned in a day, but it couldn't have been more than a week. And I know that the children of barbarians all become the new tax collectors and priests. So I don't know. I suppose we've been rolling since the world was round, and time makes dust of what we can't tear down. And I suppose it's true, dead bodies make soil for the ground. What would we do now? I'm growing old in rooms full of kids with unruly haircuts, taking what comfort we can in the fact that every empire's days are numbered, man. I just don't think that we can count that high. Well, I don't know. I love that song, but I feel like it deals pretty well with the existential dread of being a leftist, looking around at the world and being like, we gonna fix this? Thank you for replacing the Ayatollah Khomeini with another Ayatollah Khomeini. Thank you for replacing the Ayatollah Khomeini with another Ayatollah Khomeini. Mm. Good night, Taylor. We gotta do a duel live and chat again sometime. Send me your songs, by the way. I'm getting back to learning music again. I need some new songs. All right, Ignar. Well, I know a ton of songs, but I can send you like a playlist of 10 or so. Pat the Bunnies Make Total Destroy. Yep. That's what it was called, indeed. It's a song. It's a really good song. I love it. I'm always happy to share it with people here on the YouTubes. Thank you for fighting the Taliban, replacing the Taliban with the Taliban. Shame our protest fell on deaf ears. You even gave your weapons to the Taliban. What a plan! Thank you for replacing the Ayatollah Khomeini with another Ayatollah Khomeini. Thank you for replacing the Ayatollah Khomeini with another Ayatollah Khomeini. Thank you for fighting in Vietnam and replacing the communists with the communists. Fought them until there were two countries there. Now they have split and one has nuclear. Thank you for replacing the Ayatollah Khomeini with another Ayatollah Khomeini. Thank you for replacing the Ayatollah Khomeini with another. Sorry, I can't get that. I cannot get that song out of my head. Got a new job and income, so I'll be donating again. You'll be able to. Nice. Another little pay pig to add to the pile. Just kidding. I'm kidding. I'm joking. That's a joke. Cheers, Phoebes. Keep being awesome. Gotta be up at 10 a.m. So it's about sadly. After Let's I gotta do this. Yeah, I'd love to. For sure. We can do a dual stream. I'd love to. That song is a brainworm. I know. It really is. It's so fucking, it just sticks. Thank you for replacing the Ayatollah Khomeini with another Ayatollah Khomeini. Thank you for replacing the Ayatollah Khomeini. It's the way that it's your ability to make me know that you're good. So let me make you I'll say a word, anything. Rest assured, you start knows that I'll cut you in. Let your lips, let my lips where your necklace is close. I hope none of you guys know that song. I hope I'm not like playing too many of my cards by playing that cover. Man, I feel like there's like a specific era. There's like a specific kind of person to which I am like incredibly attracted and that I think I'm a part of as well. That is like into music like that, and there's like I don't know, like 200 other songs that come along with it. But you know, I was first introduced to that song by my ex Taylor, who participates in this chat all the time. She's the one who just went to bed a few minutes ago, and I like to think that she's responsible for a lot of my modern music taste as it concerns like the post-punk, pop-punk kind of emo. I don't know how to describe it, but the like I really don't know how to describe it because there's a certain vibe to that music, and none of the labels I just gave it neatly describe it. But I'm talking about like that song by The Story So Far. I think that was The Story So Far. Um, and then there's songs like fucking. Oh, wait, how is it? Okay, that's what I'm missing. I used to know how to play the song. I used to know. But there's like this other song, whose name I'm forgetting. Part of Me by Neck Deep. Um, fucking Front Porch Step. Um, fucking Brand New. Little Death Cab, maybe. There's a lot that's mixed into that vibe, and I don't know how quite to describe it all, but I do feel like it's all related somehow. Phoebe is think you'd like some of the Warframe soundtrack and the overall concept of one of the factions. Maybe I would. I'll paint you a picture with words I miss her. We still talk like every day. We don't talk in the same way we used to. I'll move on, forget you. We could never see eye to eye. Either way, like because she's smart and strong and independent, puts me in my place. But I don't know where I stand. And if only I could find the words, muster up the nerve to tell her, never forget her, and she'll always have a part of me. Don't let me go down this road again. We both know where this ends. In a storm of feeling, I'm so unappealing. I can't play these games. Like because she's smart and strong and independent, puts me in my place. But I don't know where I stand. If only I could find the words, muster up the nerve to tell her, never together and she'll always have me. I don't nearly have enough breath to play that song well anymore, and that sucks. Phoebe, what's the fastest song you can play? Probably Coffee God and Cigarettes. Let me look up the lyrics real quick. But I used to worship whiskey, now I only drink the Lord. And I take my coffee cream and 7 sugars. Before me, we stand out on the sidewalk as it pours, swapping one addiction for another. Coffee, guys, and cigarettes are all that I need. It's all that I need just to break this routine. Coffee, guys, and cigarettes are all that you need. It's all that you need just to be as free as me. Gotta scroll down. But I run into my old friend still drinking from that cup. I never stay too long as I am tempted. I say no, you drink the devil's brew, you know it's just a crutch. No longer you must live your life descendant. Coffee, guys, and cigarettes are all that I need. It's all that I need just to break this routine. Coffee, guys, and cigarettes are all that you need. It's all that you need just to be as free as me. Make me give. Now what made me give? Turn off the road that ends at the cliff. Took the car out for a spin. Crashed the party, blood run thin. Was it waking up with 50 stitches in my gourd? Was it dreaming about bourbon in the trauma ward? Well, I knew I was gonna surely end up dead if I didn't embrace coffee, cotton, cigarettes. Coffee, cotton, cigarettes are all that I need. It's all that I need just to break this routine. Coffee, cotton, cigarettes are all that I need. It's all that you need just to be as free as me. Whee! Thank you for the gift. I appreciate that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Holy shit, has it been that easy to play this whole time? No fucking way. No fucking way has it been that easy this whole time. Holy shit. You still know Flightless Bird? Do I? I was a quick, wet boy, diving too deep for coins. All of my light eyes, wine on my plastic toys. Then when the cops closed the fair, I cut my long baby hair, stole me a Tony Mac, come for you everywhere. I found you, lightless bird, jealous, weeping, I lost you. I cannot regret. Now I'm a fat house cat, and blind tongue, watching the warm poison rats cut through the white fence cracks, nursing on magazine photos of fishing moons, thrown in the cold and clean blood of Christ mountain stream. Have I found you, flightless bird, grounded, bleeding, I lost you. I can now big pen stand Well, I guess the answer is yes. Holy shit, 47 viewers on a members only stream at 5 in the morning? That's cool. Thank you guys for enjoying that. Yeah, I've got a cover if you want to see if I've improved or gotten worse. I've got a cover from before I transitioned on this channel of me playing that song from way back when. Thank you, Fee. Oh, you're welcome. Of course. Of course. Excuse me. Trying to think if there's any other good ones that I could play that you guys might know. By the way, if you want to participate in the chat, just sign up for the membership. You don't have to wait any amount of time or anything. You just gotta sign up. But yeah, no, you're welcome. Yeah, I'm glad I could play a song that everybody liked. Always good when I get that kind of reception. Pretty little baby. Ooh, pretty little baby. Pretty little baby. Pretty little baby. Oh, I love you. You can ask the flowers. I sit for hours, counting all the bluebirds, the bill and Cubans. You. Here's a song I haven't played in a long time. It's my excavation. Yeah. Everything that happened from that point. This is pouring rain. This is paradise. Throwing it in. One day at a time. It's hard to find and win. When you need to stop and you're drunk and sad. Back to back, since it's like zero. Back to back, since it's like zero. Back to back, since it's like zero. Twist into the sun. I need to place. I'm in the front yard, busted out. All my love was gone in the frozen ground. There's a black cross sitting across from me. His wiry legs across. Dangling my keys, he breaks the tops. What could it be that has brought me to this loss? new one, a crispy realization. The sound of the unknown lift away your love with me, safe with me. That was Restacks by Bonnie Bear. Is that a credit card pick? LOL, yeah, it's a Taco Bell gift card. Remember, anyone can participate in the chat that joins the membership. So feel free to gift those memberships or to sign up. A year from now, when long be gone, all our friends will move away. They're going to their places, but our friends will be gone away. This that's it, that's it. I miss your face like hell, and I guess it's just as well. But I miss your face like hell. Been talking about the way things change, and my family lives in a different state. And if you don't know what to make this, well, not relate. And if you don't know what to make this, then we will not relate. I love so much. And that was. Running around in circles. I'm running around there. Is it any better? Is it any better? Are we back? I guess so. I guess we're not back. Oh, we good? Okay. I mean, the stream can't go on for that much longer. I will have to go eventually, but yeah. I guess we're good now. Damn. We good? Well, that's good. Oh, oh. You, gentle and noble few in my members only chat. I was running around in circles, pretending to be myself. Why would somebody do this on purpose? They could do something else. Running down the morning bird, or the same three songs over and over. I wish I wrote it, but I didn't, so I love the words. All along, now the feeling's gone forever. Tore out to see the stars, but they weren't out tonight. So I wished hard on a Chinese satellite. I want to believe when I look at the sky and see nothing. You know I hate to be alone. I want to be wrong. You were screaming at the evangelicals. They were screaming right back from what I remember. When you said I will never be your vegetable. because I think when you're gone, it's forever. But you know I'd stand on the corner, embarrassed with a picket sign, if it meant I could see you when I die. Sometimes when I can't sleep, it's just a matter of time before I'm hearing things. Swore I could feel you through the walls, but that's impossible. I want to believe that when I go outside, I'll see a tractor beam coming to take me back to where I'm from. I want to go home. Yes, thank you for the 50 likes. You guys have been awesome. I'm pleased to have this many people just sitting around watching, considering it's members only chat. Just goes to show you I do draw a bit of an audience, just me sitting here having fun, making good shit. Are tractor beams boobs? No. 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 What? No. No. Like, obviously no, too. What? Are you high? What? What are you talking about, Matt? What are you talking about, eh? Anyway, that's the last of the guitar music I think I'll do for tonight. Because I'm getting pretty tired. And despite how many people are watching, it's not like they're signing up for membership. So, you know. Oh? What the fuck is that? I got a cut on me somehow that I don't know how I got. Hey, look at that, Nanbot. More memberships for the members. I actually don't know how that works. Yeah, it basically gives random people in the subscriber base memberships. So, people that sit in here and talk and are subscribed to the channel and stuff like that. It's pretty cool, actually. It's pretty awesome. Thank you, Gifted, or thank you, Nanbot, for the gifted memberships. Thank you, Gifted, for the Nanbot memberships. I'm insane. I cannot wait for the channel upgrades to arrive. Oh, man. I'm so fucking, I'm so ready. I'm so ready. I'm so fucking ready. I'm so ready. I'm so fucking ready. I'm so ready. I'm so fucking ready. Do 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 do. Oh, I'm so happy I was able to get shit that I need. Stuff that I've been needing, some of it for like years, and some of it I haven't been needing as long. But still, I'm ready. The MAGA bot to queer soybean avocado toast Satanist pipeline. Yes, that is what I am. Literally. I'm ready. I'm ready. Me too. Me too. Having money for stuff is nice, but Phoebe wants to give it all away to DFF. Honestly, the great thing about all the donos I made today and the other day is that that wasn't even like 5% of what I made last month, which is awesome. That's so fucking cool. You got a gifted sub from me? Nice. Come and hate, subscribe to hate, catch a membership, gay. Yep, it literally works exactly like that. It's an effective pipeline, I can't lie. It would be a lie to say that it's not an effective pipeline. Nice. One of my orders is very close to shipping. Oh, but they say a watched pot never boils. So I suppose I shouldn't pay too much attention to it. I'm bi, but I may go all the way if this keeps up. You guys are insane. You guys are ridiculous. And well, if we're gonna be sticking around here for a minute, I gotta use the bathroom. But I'm gonna give you guys like the 20-minute warning. So after I get back, we'll go for like 20 more minutes. Oh, shit. Oh. What did she name again? Sissy, I think? Yeah. I didn't name it that. My mom named it that. But yes, her name is Sissy. Kitty loves the ass warmth? Yeah, true. No particular love for me, but she does like the ass warmth. Meow. Phoebe, much love and all, but that kitten was cuter. Fuck you. Phoebe, I require you to order food and get more high. What does this look like to you? Fucking DFF? Come on, we have standards here. Now get more high, I can satisfy. But eat in front of you guys? It's a little harder sell. Instead of Sissy, I'm gonna call her Sizzler. Fuck you, Matt! Why do you want to cook my cat? I just thought of a really bad joke I could have made. But I didn't make it, so you guys can't hold it against me. How did that meat smoking go? Joey. I made the most fantastic fucking brisket I've ever had in my fucking life. I finally understand why people like brisket so much. I finally get it. But yeah, I let it smoke in the electric smoker for about 8 hours, and it wasn't obviously a whole brisket. It was just a chunk out of one, but still. Did you take pics? No, I sure didn't. Oof, that sounds wonderful. Good smoke. Yes, and thank you. I appreciate it. It really was, though. It really was. It turned out awesome. I can't complain a bit. I don't go crazy on time personally. Won my smoker at a work raffle. I like really long smokes personally. Um, in my mind, pretty much the best way meat can be served is smoked. But not everybody not everybody feels the same way as I do on that. Me personally, I would just about like any there like okay, obviously like there are ways to have meat that are perfectly just as good, but I feel like smoked meats are my favorite out of all the different weird ways of serving meat. That's got to be my all-time favorite way of doing it. And just for my money, it feels like the longer I set it up to cook and the longer it goes through the smoke, the better it ends up coming out in the end. You should make smoked baked beans with the brisket leftovers. I'm going to, at least part of it. Yeah, I had some bits of bark that kind of slipped off the main meat and stuff, and had a little bit of gelatinized fat left on it. So I'm going to use those pieces of crust and a few pieces of the brisket meat to season a pot of baked beans here soon. What's up, Kyle? Just talking about the brisket I made yesterday and how good it turned out, and talking about me seasoning up some beans with it. Thank you for the high five. I appreciate that. Then put that on bread. What sounds so good? Burn in baked beans and put that on bread. Oh my god, you guys. Stop. Quit it. Cease. Oh. Smoking meats. Yep. Yep. What you doing there, Phoebe? Smoking meats? Yes. Unironically, yeah. Like I was saying yesterday, that is, in my opinion, the one time Mark Zuckerberg actually came off as relatable. Zuckerberg is never going to live that down ever. No, he's not. And it's unfair and wrong because you know what? We should hate Mark Zuckerberg because he's part of the Epstein class and a fucking billionaire. But when it comes to him smoking meats, I feel like him being awkward about his meat smoking obsession is like the most relatable thing about him. Yeah, we're just out here smoking some meats. That sauce on a shelf, though. What now? If you don't like to smoke meats, maybe you were a bad person, and if Suck the Cuck likes smoked meats, does that make him not as bad of a person? I don't know, man. Yeah, maybe. I don't know though. I tell you what, I like there's something I maybe it's stupid of me, but there is something kind of human in me that relates to something I detect as human in Zuckerberg, which is his like the fact that me and him could sit down to the brisket I made last night and we could critique it and talk about it, as fellows in that regard, if nowhere else. I don't know, maybe it's a bad habit of mine, but I like to look for something to like in everybody. Even with a jackass like RFK. Give you an example. He's a perfect one, right? RFK is a fucking jackass and is definitely abusive towards wildlife. But I don't think he ever is so intentionally. I just think that RFK is a moron that doesn't know that wildlife is not supposed to be handled unless you just have no other option. And I think he's just one of those dudes that just leaps at the opportunity to touch and coddle every fucking animal he can and wants to I think he's just obsessed, fascinated with, and in love with like non-human animals. And it's kind of an endearing trait in a way, like seeing him catch those snakes. Did you guys see that video? I saw it on like our public freakout or something like that. RFK cornering these two I don't know, just some fucking non-venomous Florida snakes somewhere down there. Got up towards where the people were, and RFK is down there like some fucking sprightly grandpa catching up these snakes, and you just see the look on his fucking face. It's like a little kid, you know. He's out there looking like a snakehead, like Breacher. I know. He's actually doing it with way more confidence than those guys do it, though. He's doing it with like more confidence and gravitas than they do. But yeah, it's fucking hilarious. RFK is a freak. I'm surprised he didn't try to find a snake penis to steal. Well, we have no idea what happened after the video cut off. For all we know, a video or an article might come out in 3 days. Like RFK caught wearing the disembodied fucking heads of two snakes he caught at Mar-a-Lago as a good luck charm or some shit. It might legit just be brain damage. I don't know, man. It may be. Like maybe he's just fucking fucked up in the head and doesn't know no better, and he's probably not. I mean, that's definitely true. He's definitely fucked up in the head, and I have no doubt that to some degree he does. He ain't no better. But on the other hand, I don't know. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and get off here, guys. It has been really fun doing a members only chat. So hopefully you guys will come back to the next one of these I do. Hopefully I'll be on a little bit later today. But if not, and it's not till tonight, then peace. I will see you guys around. He got the brain damage from his bad habits, touching roadkill and swimming in sewage gave him the worm. Yeah, probably. Almost undoubtedly. But anyway, good night. Bye. Good night, guys. Bye.